Ness may have defeated the great evil that was Gygus, but the world was still destroyed by an apocalyptic disaster. Only a few managed to board the white ship and escape to the Nowhere Islands. But what remains of Eagle Land? And how could someone with psionic powers change the wasteland for the better? With this challenge, we can find out. Can you beat Fallout New Vegas as Ness? There are two main rules. The first is on weapons. The only methods of attacking will be with a baseball bat and psychic powers. These powers are added by the Psyker mod. I will link it in the description. Until I had the idea for this challenge, I did not know Psykers were a thing. I'll explain for those of you who, like me, haven't played the first Fallout. Psykers are individuals who gain psionic powers from exposure to FEV. The first known Psyker was the Master himself. The second rule is on armor. The only outfits allowed are the pre-war baseball cap and the vault suit you get at the beginning of the game. The cap is for obvious reasons. The suit is because it's the closest thing I could get to what Ness wears. The difficulty will be set to very hard. For special stats, I tried to make them reflect Ness's stats in Earthbound. Strength is like offense, endurance is based off guts and vitality, intelligence is IQ, and luck is, surprisingly, luck. I wanted to make perception a dump stat, but seeing as Ness literally has ESP, that wouldn't make sense. Charisma at 1 makes sense because of the whole silent protagonist thing. For tag skills, I chose melee weapons, medicine, and barter. In order to use psionic powers, we must take the Psyker trait. I also took heavy-handed. The first thing I tried to do was get a bat. I've read Chet sometimes has one, but I waited for days and days, but his inventory would not change. I even came back later in the game and it still did not update. This was super annoying. I tried turning the game off and on like a GameFAQs said, but that didn't work. A powder ganger during the Ghost Town gunfight quest has one, but to start that quest you have to shoot sarsaparilla bottles with Sunny, and I didn't want to use the varmint rifle for that. So I decided to try to level up to gain my first psychic ability to knock the bottles over. I discovered a bunch of locations, but it didn't level me up. So I decided since the game was bugging out on me with Chet, it would be fair to give myself a baseball bat with a console command and drop all my DLC weapons as payment. Also, I gave myself the cap, because why not? Now, finally, we can start acting like Ness, and beat some dogs with our baseball bat. With my accuracy, you'd think I was using the Casey bat. I only ever use guns in this game, so I suck at melee. After a substantial amount of dog bashing, we finally reach level 2 and can take the ESP perk. This will grant us access to our first psychic ability. As you level up, you will be able to take perks that unlock more and more abilities. But just taking the perk doesn't automatically give you the powers. You have to use the Psionic Research item to exchange Stimpaks for new abilities. The level 2 perk doesn't give you any psychic attacks, only passive skills, so I decide to skip the Ghost Town gunfight quest and head for Prim. After freeing Deputy Beta and the Bison Steve, we finally get our first psychokinetic attack. This is when everything changes. Every single psychic attack either knocks out your opponent or deals an obscene amount of damage to them, at no cost. You can just spam the attacks. This mod definitely needs a rebalancing. The skills should cost AP, or at least not be so overpowered. The Psychic Stun ability renders enemies instantly unconscious, at which they can easily be dispatched with the bat. This can be like our PSI paralysis. Now that we've dealt with the convicts, we have to get Prim a new sheriff, so it's off to the Mojave Outpost. The ants on the way level us up to 6, which allows us to get the Telekinesis perk. We can now use the Psychic Knockout ability, which is basically the same as Psychic Stun. This can be our PSI Hypnosis. At the outpost, Jackson wants us to clear out the ants on the road before he can assign troops to Prim. Easy. That, plus reporting the Legion's activities, leveled us up to 8, and taking the Psionic Fire perk grants us new abilities. One is Telekinetic Strike. It's our PK Flash because it lights up the screen. Also, we can now do PK Fire! Arriving in Novak, a gay guy tells us to go get rid of some ghouls in exchange for info on where to go for the next main quest. After PK flashing the ferals, we gotta clear out the Nightkin and then grab the stuff to power the rocket. I get distracted turning Cazadors into fireworks and we level up to 10. This lets us get the Psionic Lightning perk. We can now use PK Thunder! Or Psionic Lightning Strike. We also get a Telekinetic Burst attack. This one could be PK Rockin'. We send off the ghouls on their rockets and get told to go to Boulder City. The game crashed, and I decided to enable the legendary difficulty mod because this challenge was so easy. This didn't really change much though. At Boulder City, we learned to head to the tops and leave the cons to deal with the NCR themselves. If you aim the psionic lightning too high, it just kills you. Don't know what's up with that. Not even Deathclaws stand a chance against the burst attack. At level 14, we gain the Psionic Shields perk, which, as the name suggests, allows you to use psionic shields. However, we don't have enough stim packs to actually get the skill yet, so we'll have to wait. We discover Camp McCarran and turn in a couple of heads to Daughtry. I missed Neffy's head, but I'm not going back for it. The NCR is also having a problem with aliens. Ness has experience dealing with those, so he's the perfect person to help them. This questline is added by the Alien Extermination mod. I highly recommend this one. It's fun. Link in the description. The first task is to wipe out aliens hiding in houses around the Mojave. The first one we go to is in Goodsprings. While there, I swing by Doc Mitchell's to pick up some stims, with which we can actually obtain the Psionic Shield ability. I wonder what PSI that's analogous to. Shield makes encounters complete jokes, even more so than before. It adds a massive 40 DR. The next aliens are near the sharecropper farms, and they're easily taken care of. At level 16, we unlock Psionic Mind Control. You know how the speech skill sometimes feels like you're bending people's minds to your will? Well now, that's literally what it is. I get some more stims from Dr. Kujikawa, and we can now do Psionic Gamma Strike. This can be PK Starstorm. The last house with aliens is in the north of the map, near the vanilla aliens, which are killed with a single Gamma Strike. The third group of aliens meets the same fate as the others. The next assignment is to clear out an alien bunker. It had a giant Deathclaw that probably should have been a difficult fight. After that, we have to save some guy from an alien ship. How? Well, by portal, of course. An alien tries to take us out with this breakdancing attack, but it is no match for a good old bash. We save the guy, kill the captain, and set the ship to self-destruct. After escaping, we get our next assignment, which is to investigate a pre-war factory for alien ties. The factory has evil robot ponies that are out for blood. And now, they've escaped, so we have to track them down and eliminate them before they do too much damage. After PK firing the first group of them, we reach level 18 and get the final Psyker perk, Psionic Mastery. The other two packs were defeated the same way. The next assignment is to infiltrate another bunker and save the guy that was on the ship. But it's all the way in the mountains by Jacobstown, so we'll do that later. First we'll head to Freeside. Here the king has some jobs for us to do. One is to help his dog Rex. Rex is Latin for king, which is the name of Ness's dog. I just realized for the first time the king's dog is named King in Latin. I'm dumb. At the old Mormon fort, we find out Rex needs to see a doctor in Jacobstown. Also, the followers sell stim packs there, so we can use those to get more skills. On the way to Jacobstown, we go to the alien base. It's a factory that they are using to make more ponies to try to take over the Mojave with. We save the guy and blow up the facility, destroying the aliens' plans. After that, we talk to the doctor in Jacobstown, and he says Rex needs a new brain. I thought I already had Violetta's brain from when I killed her earlier, but I guess I didn't, so I just teleported over there and grabbed it and came back. He did the brain transplant, and we finished Rex's quest. The last alien quest is a little different than the others. I won't spoil it for people who haven't played the mod. With that done, it's time to go to the strip. At the tops, we bash Benny to death and take the chip back to Mr. House. He wants us to go to the fort and activate his Securitron army, but we're not going to do that yet. First, we're going to do some stuff for Ambassador Crocker, because we're going to side with the NCR for this playthrough. He wants us to get the Boomers' help for the Battle of Hoover Dam. The Psionic Shield easily protects us from the artillery fire. That shows you how overpowered it is. To get the Boomers on our side, we have to do a bunch of stupid quests for them. First, we listen to the dumb kid's dumb story, and then we do the dumb quest to get Jack a dumb girlfriend. I kill the dumb ants and fix the dumb array and get idolized. The last thing we have to do for the Boomers is raise a bomber out of the lake. On the way there, I test out the most powerful psychic attack, PK Nuke. This should be a level 50 skill. I raise the bomber, and now the Boomers will fight on our side. I didn't mention it earlier, but I finished the King's boring quest, so he'll stop the violence against NCR citizens for us. Now we're done with Crocker's quests, and have to talk to Moore. But first, for some reason I decided to do the Return to Cinder quest. It wasn't very interesting. Anyway, Moore wants us to deal with the Great Khans. I'm not going to wipe them out though, I'm actually going to do their quest. Convincing Jack and Melissa the Legion is bad is easy, but I guess I messed up convincing Regis somehow, so time to go to the fort to get the slave ledger, and activate Mr. House's Securitrons along the way. Back at Red Rock Canyon, the ledger convinces Regis, and Papa Khan agrees to fight the Legion at Hoover Dam. Speaking of Hoover Dam, we go back to Moore and get instructions to find out what's going on with the Omertas. Kachino is apparently plotting to take over the casino, so we work with him to end the Omertas' plan to side with the Legion. With the Omertas quest finished, we have to kill Mr. House, because for some reason it won't let me disable him. The next faction Moore wants us to deal with is the Brotherhood, and I'm not doing their quests, so we're just gonna kill them. PK Fire does the job. The final quest before Hoover Dam is to protect President Kimball. Disarm Vertibird, kill Sniper, President gets away safely. Now it's Hoover Dam time. At some point we got an upgraded Sonic Shield that adds 80 DR, and that can be stacked on top of the 40 DR one. So Hoover Dam isn't much of a challenge at all. The most dangerous thing is me accidentally blowing myself up. I used the bat as much as I could for variety. I nearly beat the Legate with Pyrokinesis, but he just barely eked out a victory. So the second time I just did 2 PK nukes and killed him like that. With that, we speak to General Oliver and we beat Fallout New Vegas as Ness. Thank you for watching. I plan on making more videos like this, so subscribe if you want to see more. Comment below if you have any challenge ideas you would like to see done.